国对外开放的大门只会越开越大。近年来，中国证监会坚决落实国家关于金融开放的总体安排，积极稳妥推进市场、产品、机构等等的双向开放。我们会同中央金融办出台了推动中长期资金入市的指导意见，着力打通社保、保险、理财等资金入市的这样一些相关的堵点、痛点，建设培育、鼓励长期投资的市场生态，有力地促进了资本市场发展和金融稳定。我们这个沪港通10周年，相信将来对外开放的步伐会越来越大，将进一步地保持境外融资渠道的畅通，进一步提升境外上市的备案的效率，积极支持符合条件的境内企业赴境外上市，更好地利用好两个市场两种资源。
We have a twofold. Asia is a major fork of that. Specifically, we brought Iqbal Khan across as president to Asia. He actually runs our global wealth management business, which is underscoring just how important we view this region. So we will continue to invest here. We will continue to grow. We heard today from Chairman Wu and the head of the other regulators and the Vice Premier about the opening up of markets. I think China and Hong Kong are ahead of Europe on its opening up of markets, capital markets. And I cannot control tariff risk and global thermonuclear war or whatever it might be. So I think in terms of where we are, Asia itself has very good core growth, 4.6%. Even if you look at the tariff effect on China, which will significantly affect Chinese growth, we think China can do quite a lot in terms of remediating that. There has been a strengthening of cross-regional ties, which I think will mitigate some of those effects quite considerably.
At the heart of Asia, China 40 years ago, GDP was $250 per capita. It's $12,500 per capita today. In 40 years, the GDP is multiplied by 50 times. If you look at what China's achieved over that journey, over the last now 10 to 15 years, China's been the largest manufacturing hub in the world. China's been the largest exporter for more than a decade in the world. And China wealth has grown one of the fastest in the world. And if you look at Hong Kong, where we are here, Hong Kong's capturing more than 20% of the share of wealth creation movement offshore. Hong Kong will be the largest offshore center by 2028 with about $3.2 trillion of managed funds for wealth, ahead of Switzerland with about $3.1 billion.
I know that Singapore and Hong Kong love to pretend not to compete with each other. All I know is competition is good because it makes everybody better. We want Hong Kong and Singapore to thrive, but having a big presence in Hong Kong and Singapore, actually the amount of cooperation between these countries in terms of the core values of promoting trade, investment in Asia, being say, responsible participants in the global economy and in global markets, setting wise regulation. But at the moment, we're here in Hong Kong, and man, is this place buzzing, right? I mean, for those of us that have been here for 3 years, to have come the first year as we were coming out of COVID, the second year to say, yeah, China and Hong Kong are relaunching, to come this year and feel a real buzz in the environment, that of course is reflected in all of our businesses, I think, which are doing quite well.
We have, step by step, created a unified, if not a more global world, which has brought success and benefits to many people in the world. Trade is a matter of negotiation. Of course, there's noise, there are threats, that I can understand, this is part of life. But trade should be negotiation, discussions. People should sit down, compare notes, and try to find agreements. And of course, the way we do it can create a lot of noise, perception of difficulties, fragmentation on trade and on finance. And it's a common question for all of us, which is to try to avoid this and sit down and try to make concessions, because all of this is about making constructive compromises, helping people to continue to work and grow. And there are solutions. On trade, it's about tariff, it's about quota, it's about reciprocity, it's about timing. We know the parameters of the discussion. So wisdom should lead to this type of approach, and that would be much better than antagonizing.